Hello, everybody. So I've gotten a couple of requests to review No Man's Sky. I can do that. It's kind of ironic because I spent so much time desperately avoiding all mentions of it to try and keep the hype from poisoning my opinion, and here I am. I'm going to talk about it. I don't think my opinion is particularly better or worse than anyone else's, but for what it is, I think that No Man's Sky is nothing special. It's not bad, it's not good. There are about a dozen space games, space survival sims on Steam. And most of them play exactly like No Man's Sky. If you want to play a particularly good one, try Subnautica. Subnautica isn't technically a space game, but it's fantastic. It's much better than No Man's Sky, and I love it. I love constructing and exploring. Unfortunately, No Man's Sky doesn't really have very much construction. It's got some crafting, but you can't really build anything. Which is a huge disappointment for me. They never promised that you would be able to. I wasn't really expecting it, but it would have gone a long way to making me like the game. One of the biggest problems with No Man's Sky is the fact that it is a PlayStation 4 game. It is available on the PC, but the PC port is just terrible. I imagine that it'll improve over the next couple of days, so, don't get too upset about it. You can always wait for them to fix it so that we can Alt-Tab, and so there's less than the 4 minutes of loading every single time I start up the game and that sort of stuff. It's not going to be bad forever, but it is a little bit staggeringly awful at the moment. The controls are particularly PlayStation-y, so it takes a lot of getting used to. I don't think it's a bad game. For a small team, it's quite a good game. I've played a dozen games like this. I have a dozen of them installed on my machine right now, and most of them I found to be easier to control, more compelling. So, that is my opinion of No Man's Sky. Now, maybe much later in the game, it gets more compelling, but I kind of have a hard time believing that. Still, feel free to offer your counter opinions or whatever you'd like down below. It's certainly not a terrible game, and it's certainly not the best game I've ever played. If you liked No Man's Sky, I really recommend trying Subnautica, because it's like No Man's Sky, but really, really good. It's definitely my favorite undersea 3D survival game at the moment. And it's not new. It just ages well. If you hated No Man's Sky, then you'll probably hate that game too. If for some reason you wanted my opinion,